Oh my gosh,
Fundamentals.
we would be the bad boys of Little League. I'm telling you now, we would beat the tar out of the other team.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Joey Chestnut has to be on the pub.
Has to be.
Pub more. I mean,
Has to be.
Dramatic, man. That was a journey.
Man, I'm gonna get real theological on y'all. I think we're all a little soft and misunderstood. I'll just be real honest.
Get Luke Combs. I was begging for Luke Combs not too long ago. We'll get Luke Combs on here. I challenge Luke. I think I can actually beat him in shotgunning a beer. So if he thinks he's got the cojones to come on and try, then by all means, Luke, bring it on.
That's the intro. You just hit my promo for me, James. I love it. Episode 153 got Preacher Man Fitzsimmons, Dr. Tim Fonder, and the one, the only, the Renaissance man of Bussin' with the Boys, J.P. Hovey. Let's go.
Dude, what an intro. That's epic.
Hey, anytime we got guests on, especially of your caliber, we got to hype them up, man. We got to let the people know who's on the pub. Hey, you've been
that definitely fired me up.
Good. That's what I want. We want the internal goosebumps going, little war paint on the face.
Parker's our hype man.
Yeah, I try to bring it,
Tim and I just kind of sit back. We just dabble when we need to, but we got Parks to hype us up.
Hey,
dude, that's awesome.
For our listeners and watchers who don't necessarily know who you are, tell the people, man, because to me, obviously, I know you. I'm a big Bussin' with the Boys fan, Tier 1 style, and but there's probably people who don't know who you are. Go ahead, let the people know.
Yeah, so right now I am the producer for the Bussin' with the Boys podcast, and as you can see in the bottom left or bottom right of the screen, I'm also a friend of Hasbullah, which might be more important than anything else I've ever done in my life. But yeah, man, I pretty much just handle all of most of the content you see from Bussin', whether it's clips or vlogs or really just kind of any of it. And obviously the other guys on the squad help me out too, but that's kind of my gig right now.
Dude, and you guys have been crushing it. And how long have you been with Bussin'? What, 2 years?
Dude, literally, yeah. I think I just got a memory on my Snapchat, and tomorrow will be the 2-year anniversary of me moving to Nashville.
Shout out to the boy. Shout out to the boy. That's what's up, man.
Thank you.
You come from South Carolina. We're North Carolina guys, so we won't hold it against you too much. But
I mean, I'm in Columbia right now. So
yeah, he's in the thick of
it.
Oh,
for real?
Yeah, just finished grad school. So I'll be moving soon.
Oh, I went to South Carolina.
Yeah, I know. I saw that on your bio, which is kind of funny. I was like, USC. Yeah. They get a big like sports journalism program. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people kind of feed through there. Actually, one of my buddies he's working at ESPN right now, which is kind of wild. But so there's something about USC sports is where they feed through.
Dude, yeah, they're starting a new program too. The program that I was in wasn't really the greatest for like the things that are kind of popular now in today's world, but they got nice facilities and all that stuff, and Columbia is just like a good time.
Yeah, it seems like one hell of a time. Like I feel like culture's up right now. Like women's hoop's been phenomenal. Spencer Rattler maybe lead them to an SEC title here. We're feeling good about it. Like there's a lot of hype in Gamecock Nation.
Nah.
Dude, Spencer Rattler has been his name's been getting floated around, and if he has a good year, he could be first round draft choice next year. And I'm buying everything that everyone is selling on Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, I love it. Buy some of Fit stock because
I'm selling. I'm selling all my stock on Spencer Rattler. So
hater.
I can't wait to see you go, bro.
All right, we'll see it.
We're gonna clip this and then come like January with like Fitz. You remember this?
Oh,
JP, all the stocks now.
Yeah. See, I hate that. We always do that, and then I've got the egg on my face.
Yeah, hey, we got receipts, baby. That's what it's all about. So you come from South Carolina. Did you play any sports growing up or anything?
Yeah, I did. I want to make sure before I go in too much. Am I lagging on y'all's
It's a
end or
little
no?
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
But not too bad. Is it frozen
No,
at
I
all?
think you're
No,
good.
no. It's just like a 3-second delay, which
Okay, cool. Got you. Yeah,
Uh,
my on my screen it
now
was
it-
tripping
now
me
it is
out. So I just
tripping
want to
out,
make sure. But yeah, dude, growing up. Okay.
Sorry,
Dude.
this happens to Tim every week.
Should I
So
keep going, or
You-
you want me to try to open it in Google Chrome?
hey, you're good, brother. It's
Okay.
it's the struggle of doing a podcast virtually.
So, dude, 100%. But sports I played, we did. I played everything growing up, bro. I did swim team. I did football, basketball, soccer. Those are the three. I played football, basketball, and soccer in high school, and then grew up playing all the other stuff. And then kind of like I mean, on social media, I talk a lot about tennis, but I didn't grow up playing tennis. I got into it like kind of later when I was working at IMG Academy because it was big there. So that's kind of, but I love it all. I consider myself one of the most diverse sports fans in the country.
Dude, the amount you post about tennis, I'm like, this dude had to grow up playing it, because you don't just like hype up tennis and get into it like later in life. Like typically you don't. So you're kind of an oddball there, which is awesome. It's great.
Dude, it's just super fascinating to me because in the 80s, it was in the 70s and 80s, like it was the sport. Those guys were rock stars, and a lot of it had to do with like Americans being like at the top of the game. But then there was just a drop off, and it was kind of a dude that repped a lot of the top tennis guys was David Falk, who was Michael Jordan's agent, and he left tennis. He got with Jordan, and obviously Jordan is one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. And then out of like something about that shift with him and Jordan and everything, like just fascinates me about the sport. And it would be cool to kind of bring it back to a little bit of what it was.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. You learned me something, man. That's what life's all about. I had no idea. That's awesome. Holy shit.
It's nuts, bro.
You said you worked at IMG Academy. A, how was that? B, is there actually schooling involved at IMG Academy, or they just produce machines 24/7?
It was good. It was good experience. You get exposed to a lot of different athletes, whether it's pros training there or some of the kids coming up. But I will say it's definitely run for a business more so than like the well-being of the kids. Like it's a lot that there's a lot of stuff that they miss because everybody knows of IMG for all like, the guys that make it to the league, whether it's in football or basketball. But outside of the top athletes in the country, it's also the richest kids in the world that go there. So like I'm talking about kids from South America are at IMG like for safety reasons because of whatever their parents do over there. And so it's just like there's like sides to IMG, the side everybody sees and the side everybody kind of doesn't see.
Yeah, man.
And as far as the schooling goes, depends on who you are. If you're the top guy, the school's like set up kind of like college there. They either have AM sport or PM sport. So if it's AM, they'll do like all school from 8 to 12 and then all sport from 12 to 6 and then vice versa. But dude, I mean, if you go there, like you're guaranteed to gain like 20 pounds of muscle in the first semester.
Jeez.
Damn, dude. So it's what Bishmore Sycamore was trying to be. And then, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then they played them and it was no good.
Fucking, that's wild. How did you get your start with bussing? Walk us through that process, because going from IMG Academy, and I think you had another stop in there as well, if I remember your bio. But yeah, tell us about that journey.
Yeah. So it was after IMG, I moved to like Boca Raton, Florida, and I was just I went out there with the idea of, well, like IMG just kind of mentally burned me out. So I went out there with the idea of hitting all these different tennis academies because I started doing some work with them, with the players that train there. And South Florida is just a hub of tennis. So I was like, let me just make this move, go out there with some of these connections I met at IMG and try to like make something shake. And I moved over to, I guess I was in Weston technically at the time. And I was like knocking on tennis academy doors, meeting some players and everything, and going to, the academies. And it just wasn't like, nothing was sticking and it didn't make sense to me. And I was like slowly kind of starting to run out of money. So I was like, I gotta figure something out. And this was around like the holidays. So I had gone back home, and in my head, I'm just sitting there thinking, brainstorming, and MMA is big down in South Florida. So Wonder Boy, Stephen Thompson, he's from my hometown and he's a big UFC fighter. So I'm like, I got to get into this. Like I'm a UFC fan. I reached out to a friend of a friend of a friend that put me in touch with Wonder Boy, and he's like the nicest guy ever. So I like made a couple videos with him. So when I went back down to Florida, I could go to the gyms, show them like, hey, like I have some credibility. I've done stuff with Wonder Boy. And sure enough, like we make the videos. He's like the greatest dude ever. And come back down to Florida. I go knock on the door of American Top Team, which is where like George Masvidal and Dustin Poirier and all these like just savages train. And I'm so scared. And it was like kind of during COVID stuff still. And dude like literally just barely opens the door. And he's like, what do you need? I'm like, try to give him my quick 30-second elevator pitch. And he's like, let me go talk to the manager. He leaves for like 5 seconds, and then he comes back. He's like, yeah, we're not interested. And he shuts the door. I'm like, man, this guy, there's no chance he asked anybody. So then like the competitive side of me is like, let me see if the Black Zillions, because it's American Top Team versus the Black Zillions was like the big rivalry in MMA. So I'm like, oh yeah, like screw Top Team. I'm gonna go try to find this rival. And sure enough, I come across him. First, I go to the wrong gym, and it's still like some people training, and the coach was like the nicest guy ever. And something about the MMA community is it's super small. So one person, one like high level coach, every high level coach. And this guy was awesome. His name was Daniel Mendez. And what I was doing. He was like, oh yeah, like this is what you're looking for, but we would love to work with you here. And it's like a hole in the wall gym where like when Kamaru Usman comes to town, like he'll go stop in there to like get some jiu-jitsu in and stuff like that. Which is dope. But I go over to the Black Zillions, which is now Killcliff MMA, and that's like Michael Chandler's team and all of that, and Gilbert Burns. And I walk in. The first dude I see is the guy that's working at the smoothie stand. His name's Ray Sherwood. And, I'm like brand new, basically. I go in, I'm like, hey, bro, this is what I'm trying to do. I know the guys train here. Like, you think you can introduce me to anybody? He's like, oh, yeah, like, let me see your stuff. I show him some stuff. He's like, bro, they train at 4 p.m. And at the time, it was like 1 p.m. probably. He's like, come back around 3 and I'll introduce you and we'll get you rolling. Turns out Ray owns the smoothie shop in there, and he's like a super dope entrepreneurial mind, and he became like one of my good friends.
Nice.
But I show back up, and the fighters are starting to walk in, and you would have thought Ray knew me we were like lifelong friends. He's like, oh, y'all gotta meet my boy JP. He just moved down to Florida finally. Like, he's nice with the camera. Like, y'all need him, man. I'm telling you, just trust me. And so one guy, Scrappy, Dustin Lampros, who's also one of my great friends now, he's like, yeah, I'm down. Like, this guy's worked with Wonder Boy, like this is dope. And so then I got in with Scrappy, and Scrappy introduced me to a whole bunch of other MMA fighters, UFC fighters, and also with Scrappy, we're starting to become friends. We go to lunch together after training. He's like, oh, bro, you should come over. Whatever. And Scrappy lives with Supreme Patty, the dude that used to be, or that's the Instagram guy.
Yeah.
And I like walk in, I'm like, yo, what in the world? Like, how is this happening? And Patty's like one of the best guys ever, like super good dude, very mellow. Like I know when he was blowing up on Instagram, he was doing all the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But he's like super mellow guy, super nice guy. And I was like finally picking up traction with all that stuff. And USA Boxing calls. They're like, hey, we'd love to do some contract work with you. So I like had just got to the point where I was basically breaking even on my money, or like pay rent, pay food, pay my other bills. And I didn't have much left over, but like I had, I did it. I broke even. I felt good. Felt confident about myself. And then there was like an opening. I met Michael Chandler once during this period. I still didn't know about Bussin' with the Boys, but then my friend from town, he sends me Will Compton's Instagram story and is like, he's like, bro, you should apply for this podcast. I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, let me go to their page, and I'm sure I have the same first reaction as everybody else when they look at Will and Taylor. Like, oh, like, yeah, these dudes seem awesome. Like, these just seem like the boys, literally. I was like, I'll apply, but I'm probably not going to get it because my resume doesn't look probably like a lot of these other people's resume that looks for this caliber of job. And I applied for that, and at the same time, a UFC job became available. And I like obviously love the UFC, and I'm thinking like the fighters are talking about they'll put the word in for me, and I'm like I'm probably gonna get the UFC job, which would have had me move to Vegas, and like that was just where my connections were. But my girlfriend, still current girlfriend, she was living in Nashville, so in my head I'm like, oh God, like I really hope I only get one of these so I don't have to make a decision because I'm more familiar with the UFC. Kind of knew what I was getting. And then in Nashville was like, yeah, like it looks dope. And Nashville's cool. My girlfriend's there, but like, at the end of the day, I only know what I see on YouTube of these. And I went through the process with them both. And like halfway through the process, I'm still thinking like, yeah, as it's going on, I'm like, I'm probably not getting the Bussin' with the Boys job, but for sure getting the UFC job. And Patty calls me. I hadn't done any videos with Patty. He's like, bro, are you free today? And I was doing some Bussin' with the Boys project for the interview that was taking me forever. And I'm like, crap, like, what do I do? Like, I really want this job, but at the same time, this would be like great exposure with Patty, and I could use a little bit extra cash. So I was like, I'm just going to go with Patty because the job isn't like a sure thing. And I go with Patty. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to this gym. I'm working out, whatever. I'm like, yeah, that's dope with me. Like, we'll make some fire. And he's like, you ever been to this gym before? As we're riding over there, I'm like, nah, I've never been to this one. Like, is it dope? He's like, yeah, like the dude that owns it is like the man. He's super nice, hooks it up, and we pull up, and Patty gets on the phone. He's like, yo, I think we're here. And then out comes Antonio Brown. I'm like, hey, no shot. And this is before AB's crazy.
This is before Vontaze Burfict hit, right?
Oh man.
It's after that. But dude, he was like the nicest guy ever. And like he was just so welcoming. He FaceTimed Tom Brady, introduced us to Tom Brady. And it was just like, it was crazy. But in my head, I'm thinking like, oh snap, like I'm about to have this on my page. This probably helped my Bussin' with the Boys thing. And so I like try to crank that video out. And then ultimately I don't get the UFC job. I made the final round of both of the interviews, don't get the UFC job, but I get the Bussin' with the Boys job, and then move to Nashville within like probably like 3 or 4 getting the job. And that's kind of how it all happened.
Dude, wow. Everything works out the way it's supposed to, but what a wild ride of like, because I've been there before. Like, I'm definitely getting this job. That one's cool and all, but like that's what I got my eye on. It's a no brainer. And like I feel like life's just funny, man. It's just karma. It just flips like that, and that's awesome. That's a really great story.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Open to making some pivots, and open to other opportunities because you never know what it will lead to. Because even Bussin' with the Boys at the time is definitely not what it is now, and now it's just like it's crazy some of the stuff we get to do. It's like you dream of that stuff when you're a kid. That's like a
Yeah,
kid
like,
sports
for
fan.
real. And like 2 years ago, I think you guys might have still been in power from the RV place next door. Like it was still not even close to what it is now. So that's awesome, man. And you're absolutely right. Be willing to be flexible, and you never know what life's going to throw at you. Let's talk about some of those adventures you've gone on. You know, you guys have had some incredible guests. You've gone to some great spring tours and some events and stuff. What's kind of like your Mount Rushmore of guests for Bussin' with the Boys?
Ooh, Mount
Or
Rushmore of
Busmore, I should
guests.
say.
Dude, I feel like Mount Rushmore. Let's see. So I won't have to rank them, which is good. We'll definitely have Pat McAfee on there because like in high school I started to get into kicking and punting because I played soccer too. And so Pat was like the dude that you were watching. So like definitely a role model from the athlete standpoint. I didn't really follow too much of what he did it's in the media until like, later on. But meeting him was like really cool just because felt like I'd followed him for so long as advertised. Like him and his whole crew was just as advertised. Like nicest guy, super charismatic. Like, there's no big leaguing going on ever. So we'll definitely have him on there.
And shout out to him. He just got paid.
My two like sleeper guy.
Yeah.
Dude, golly. Got paid. He saved ESPN too.
I've been on the train of like death to ESPN for a while until that announcement. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll put my knife away for right now.
Dude, me too. That's definitely how I was like, I couldn't wait. I'm like, oh yes, they're finally sinking. And then of course Pat McAfee just saves the day.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
But I'll take oh no, you're good. I'm all about some comedy. So on my personal one, I have Leonard Fournette and Melvin Gordon, who I think are two of the funniest people that we've had on the bus. And then there's four people on Mount Rushmore, right? Yeah. So the fourth one, oh dude, I always feel like I forget like a classic.
And whoever you forget, we're gonna send this.
Also
off.
go based on
just be ready.
You never had a Hasbulla on?
Yeah. No, we never had Hasbulla on.
Stressing the boy out right now.
Oh man, it's so tough. Yeah, let's see. Number 4. It's between any of Michael Chandler's podcasts and Rob Tunyon, because Rob's just super cool and his like story is dope, but Rob, like, he treats everybody at the back of the bus like the best. I mean, so does Max Crosby. Oh god. Maybe I'll go with Mike Chandler because I'm a big UFC fan. I knew who he was. I'm a big MMA fan. I knew who he was, and now that I would say that like we're friends, Mike and I. It's like, it's always like kind of a wild thing to me if I just get like a text message from him, and it's just like, oh, Michael Chandler. I'm like, oh snap, like, like this doesn't feel real at all. And everything Mike is about is pretty on par with the things that I believe in and my beliefs and things I strive for. Like, I just think Mike's an extremely solid guy, and like he's a good role model. Yeah. So we'll give them those would be my 4 for now.
That's cool.
Those are great 4 picks. Yeah, especially since Mike's been there since kind of your come up with UFC and stuff. You said, I mean, he was there from almost day 1, so that's dope. Yeah, absolutely. Your dream guest, and I can give you a couple here if you need to, but like anybody, like I know Kay Adams, Instagram Live, we've seen it, we want that to happen. Kay, get on the boys Instagram Live, but anybody besides Kay come on the bus that you like, that'd be dope as hell.
Yeah, I'm confident we're getting close with Kay. Kay's been playing hard to get.
It's a game.
That's how that goes.
Cat and mouse.
Yeah, and you don't lose until you quit, right. And I don't plan on quitting anytime soon. So I will say, oh yeah, easy, Shaq for sure.
Oh my gosh.
dude. Because one, the optics would be hilarious. Shaq just like trying to fit on the bus, and dude, I mean, like doesn't love Shaq. Like Shaq is just the funniest guy. He seems like the best dude. He's like always buying single moms like groceries, school supplies, all that stuff, and him on TNT. It's just like I've loved Shaq since I can remember like following sports.
Yeah.
So that Shaq's my number one probably.
Mm.
Oh yeah, Shaq's my number one.
That's a hell of an answer. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Kyle, I will say this. This is not the greatest timing, but also Conor McGregor would be on my list.
That's a good one too. Have you seen the new Netflix documentary, McGregor Forever?
Oh man.
I've seen one episode, and it was good. I haven't watched the other 3 yet.
Say, I just watched the first one today when I got home from work, and I was like, oh, I'll crank it out real quick. It's good. Tim and Fitz, I'd put it on your watch list.
Okay.
Any questions for JP before we hop
for
into
sure.
NBA talks?
Yeah, JP, when's the pickleball coverage going to start up? I've been waiting on it, man.
Dude, pickleball coverage. I have something in the works that I still need to discuss with Will. So don't. This can stay in, but don't clip it out and put it on social media. You know, do you follow pickleball?
I just play it. I'm not a very close follower.
So there's a guy named Jack Sock who's a pro tennis player, and he just switched over to pickleball, or he's like playing both. But we have a tennis podcast, and we'll be covering a little bit of pickleball, but we have that in the works to hopefully start in July. So the pickleball coverage is coming.
Yes.
Let's go.
Go.
Now, hey, JP, do I need to clip this out when we release the pod? It's YouTube Live, so I can go back and clip that out later. But
oh no, you can
Okay,
leave it in the
okay,
YouTube.
okay.
I just don't. I need to have a conversation with Will.
yeah, you don't want me to start the conversation for you. I hear you. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I gotta craft something up.
I love it. Fitz,
All right,
any
also-
questions? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
Quick question. So you just casually named just a bunch of athletes that, we watch, every Sunday or we watch daily. So I just got to know who have you been most starstruck of? Have you met and you're just like, this is not real. Am I actually meeting this person?
Fangirl.
Yeah.
Yeah, fangirl. I mean, dude, it's crazy because I always imagined that would happen. I've been starstruck one time in my life. I didn't even meet. I was just at the Miami Open, which is a tennis tournament, and Roger Federer walked within 5 feet of me, and I legit just froze up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. It was almost like he was floating. I was like, geez, I don't deserve to be here. But dude, all of those people, I definitely would have been like that with Pat, but he's just super disarming immediately, super warm and all of that. And that's how a lot of the guys are. It says a lot about Will and Taylor. They just attract solid people. I think one that could be slept on just because the name is so big, and it was it's surreal to see him in person. But then again, you see him and he's a smaller guy and looks extremely normal. And then Earnhardt Jr.
Ooh.
But that name is just it's an iconic name.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was not expecting that.
But-
Those are good answers there.
Yeah, I noticed the NASCAR shirt on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NASCAR.
Oh, NASCAR. That's good. Man, I don't.
We'll be back. We'll be at the race.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a question. Just kind of off the cuff here. For me, my Columbia curiosity. What's the best place in Colombia? And then I guess throw in Nashville. I'm not very familiar with Nashville.
As far as what,
it could be a
we looking
food,
for best food or best
scene,
best bar?
food scene, atmosphere, just a spot that you're just embodies a good time in either place.
Yeah, the spot that embodies a good time in Colombia is for sure Jake's.
Oh yeah, I've been to
And
Jake's.
in 5 Points. Jake's is,
Yeah,
bro, yeah. Jake's
Yeah,
is
that's a good
Jake's is elite. And then in Nashville, man, I like going over to East Nashville. That's where Jack and Garrett live. Right now I live in West Nashville, which is like right by Vanderbilt. But East Nashville is very like it kind of gives off a little bit of a college town vibe, but man, I one spot. There's like a lot of great restaurants and bars in East Nashville. I just went to this place, Lakeside, for the first time. Jack and Garrett go a lot. I went for the first time, and it was a really dope bar. Because, Nashville gets hyped up with Broadway and everything, so it's cool just to be able to, like, hit a neighborhood spot. So just area of East Nashville, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Where do all the bridal parties happen? Is that East or West Nashville, or is that just all Nashville?
Yeah, it's mainly just like on Broadway, right in downtown. But I wish it was if it was Thursday, I could literally turn my computer screen around, and my apartment is like right next to a pretty much just a complex of Airbnb. Single Thursday, bachelorettes just come flowing in, and it's nuts. But yeah, they're everywhere in Nashville. More in West than East though.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've been there a couple times, and like it's definitely over 20 you see every single weekend. Like I don't know what it is about Nashville, but it's the capital of just bachelorette parties and bachelor parties. Wild.
I think it's just bachelorette. I never see bachelor
it's,
parties.
It's
there.
insane. It's definitely
Yeah.
depends what you're looking for.
It's true.
Hey, all right, we're going to turn our talks to the NBA here, and I know you're a big Heat guy. You're feeling good about it, JP. Our picks, I will have to put some egg on my face here. I was the only one to pick the Knicks. I thought New York had one more round in them. I should have believed in the New York curse, though. Fitz, you're running away with this thing at 9-3. Devin's at 9-3 with the 2.
Pissed at that Philly pick I made.
Yeah, what a stupid pick by
I thought
you.
I thought I was sneaky, man, and I was ahead and everything, and
That's what you
the
get.
Celtics came back. Yeah.
But looking ahead of these finals, man, like we got Boston, Miami. That's gonna be a phenomenal series. Denver, Lakers look like it's gonna be a blowout. Lakers made some adjustments second half, and it seemed like Lakers might have Jokic's number. We'll see if they capitalize on that going into game 2. JP, I know you're taking your Heat here. How close of a series we got between Celtics and Heat?
The Heat will do exactly what we've done to every other team. We'll beat the Celtics in 6, and after game 6, all the articles will be the same again. One day they'll say, "Oh man, the Miami Heat are the hottest team in the NBA playoffs right now. I don't see who could beat them." And then the next day, when we're playing the Lakers in the finals, the pre-thing will be the Miami Heat have a 1% chance of winning the NBA finals. And then we'll do exactly what we did to the other 3 teams, 3 franchises. We'll beat the Lakers in 6.
Yeah, you think Lakers coming out from the other side, right?
Yeah. Lakers will come out from the other side. I think, everybody kind of had the same feelings about last night, and I think the Lakers missed a lot of shots that they'll probably make in these next games. But what kind of scares me is I believe the Lakers and Celtics are tied for all-time championships. Yeah. So I know the NBA and the refs will be pushing for that. So if the Heat don't make it, just know it was the NBA's fault.
We're starting here. Okay, all right.
Oh, man.
We were having a good conversation, JP, and then you had to bring that in. All right.
See, I think they're trying to push
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
I think they're trying to push the theory that Jimmy Butler is Michael Jordan's son, and we're going to get to actually see Jordan versus LeBron. I think that's the narrative that might be brewing.
Wait, hold on. Back up.
Man.
Do you know this theory, Tim?
That's an actual theory?
Yeah. This is a theory. There's a theory.
Oh my gosh.
That Jimmy Butler was conceived by Michael Jordan banging his mom in Dallas, basically.
What?
Not even like that is legit the theory.
It is, yeah.
Oh my
because
God.
like there's something about when he was born, like 9 months before Jordan was in a series against the Mavs, and he looks, he looks very identical to Jordan. Like if you look at their face,
Oh
and
my
and
gosh.
then just this playoff run. I mean,
This
Jimmy
is
Buckets
crazy.
he's just MJ 2.0. So I'm a firm believer. in it
JP, have you heard this
after-
before?
Man, I have not heard that theory, and I was with it up until we try to say that they look similar.
They do look similar.
that one,
Like, I mean, he's
No,
not
bro, they
he's
do
not
not look
Michael
similar.
Jordan, but there's just like a piece of Jordan that might be in Jimmy.
I don't know,
Or at
man.
least Jimmy's mom.
Jimmy. Oh, jeez.
It's just a theory.
I feel like Jimmy's thinner in the cheekbone.
If it happened on if MJ conceived on the night of a Game 7, that it would be hard to deny
Yeah.
that Jimmy Butler could be his son. But we'll see. I mean, if Jimmy Butler secures this, if he secures this championship, I'm trying to say, because Dwayne Wade 06 NBA playoffs to me is a top finals performance of all time, probably top 3. And Jimmy, if he was able to pull off a championship with this team and the injuries, he might bump D Wade out of there.
Ooh, damn.
Well, there was something about when he dropped 50 in the playoffs. That was something no Heat player had done, on that list of Bron and D Wade. Is that Jimmy stands alone as that, granted, maybe they didn't have to put on their team on their back as much. I mean, D Wade maybe a little bit in 03 probably would have been the best chance, but I don't know. It's just interesting. And Jimmy's ahead of them.
I would like to point out. Well, there's one other thing that I do need to say about Miami Heat that a lot of people, the reason, like, how it said there was the graphic that was the Miami Heat have a 3% chance of beating the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think that enough people are taking into account that we haven't even played Udonis Haslem yet, and we've still been running through teams.
Okay. All right.
Is Tyler Hero supposed to come back? I've heard that too. That Tyler Hero.
They said maybe, like, if they make it to the finals and
Okay.
basically no.
Okay.
Because you guys aren't making the finals because you can't. Yeah, that's the reason. Yeah.
Look, I hope you keep picking against us because clearly it's gone well for us in the past. So we're
All
good.
right.
We don't need any more
All right.
support than we already got.
Touche. Fitz, who do you take here? You taking Miami? You taking Boston?
Well, before we started here, Tim and I were dabbling in Steve Ashburner's 5 takeaways from the Celtics series over the Sixers. Basically, I just gathered that the Sixers suck. So I think that it wasn't so much Boston looking great as it was Philly just kind of sucking. I'm going to stick with, again, I said it last week. Beginning of the season, I picked 2 teams to be in the finals, and it was the Heat Nuggets. So I have to stick to my guns on that. So I'll take the Heat in this one.
You taking Nuggets too?
Yeah, go ahead and lock Nuggets in too.
Dang it.
Haters feel me, baby.
All right. I got to play the numbers game because Evan's in the lead. So I'm going to tell you my picks, then I'm going to tell you who I really want.
You want to pick? You want the right picks, or do you want to try to?
So my official picks for the pick'ems, I got to go Celtics and I got to go Lakers just to oppose Fitz. I'm pulling for the Heat because imagine this. Imagine Jimmy Butler. He wins the championship. He goes, this is for you, Dad, and he holds up a picture of MJ. How amazing would that be? So officially, it's got to be Celtics Lakers, but I'm pulling for the Heat and the Nugs.
He wins on Father's Day. Shouts out his real dad.
Oh man,
That's a story. That is a story.
Jeez.
Instead of a gender reveal, it's a father reveal. It's the NBA MVP
We'll get Maury out there. You are
trophy.
the father.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm taking Boston, baby. Jason Tatum is unstoppable when he wants to be. That's been the problem, though. Is like some nights he shows up, other nights it's like, what? Who the hell is this kid? But Celtics, I feel good. I love our energy. Jason Brown and Tatum, I think they're rolling. And they give me Nuggets. They're dangerous. They're scary. And I'm a LeBron hater, so I can't do it. Sorry, it's JP. You gave me a look there. I'm sorry. I can't get behind LeBron.
What part of LeBron?
I think just so I'm originally from like Kentucky, Ohio area, and then just I don't mind him leaving Cleveland, just the way he did it, where he just took us out on a nice date,
Oh my gosh.
and then he turned his back on us. God.
Those scars run
He had
deep.
Anderson Varejao, man.
Yeah.
And he came back.
It doesn't matter. It's like your
And he
girl
brought
cheating
y'all
on you,
shit.
saying she's sorry and coming back. It's the cert's still there. The scars still show.
Man, you really wear that on your sleeve, brother.
I do.
But this is, a lot of people will say this. A lot of people always say, I don't like how he left. So I guess that you don't like him raising millions of dollars for the Boys and Girls Club. with his
Oh,
decision.
okay.
Come on, man.
Ah,
The
damn
low
it.
blow.
All right.
Oh man.
JP, this is my show. You can't clip bake me into my own show.
LeBron's a good guy.
Oh man. Let's talk. We talked a little bit about it. Let's talk. Doc Rivers getting the boot out of. Well, I don't know why I clicked on your title there. He's fired from Philly after 3 seasons. It's a little surprising to me, but it goes back to what we talked about last week. If you don't win, you're out, and it's. You look at that record, 153 and 84, not a bad record. Joel Embiid, MVP, had the Celtics up, up until Game 7, and then kind of have a Game 7 blowout. To me, I think he earned one more year, but if you win, you keep your job, and if you don't, it's just the real sports world we live in that you've got to win now. JP, any thoughts about Coach Rivers here?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think it just like the NBA has to be the most cutthroat business when it comes to head coaches. Like, I mean, dude, the dude from the Raptors, didn't he win Coach of the Year and then was fired? And then
The Bucks head coach.
the dude from the
Yeah.
Bucks, even. Yeah, like it's just. I couldn't believe it, and it's kind of like, well, who do you go get? And I don't know enough about the assistants, but like it's hard to find good coaches in any sport. And Doc is like definitely a solid head coach. So, man, I feel bad for these NBA coaches.
Dude, I could not handle that stress. Like, oh, we almost made the conference finals. I'll be back next year. Life's good. Got an MVP. Back your shit. We'll see you later. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, and it's like the thing that blows my mind is, okay, so this is the 3rd year in a row that they've made a decent run in the playoffs. And then, one of your players wins MVP. So like, I feel like not enough, and maybe I don't have the pulse of the sports or the NBA world, but I feel like Embiid is not taking the brunt of this. And he was like, what, 5 for 18 for like 15 points or something. Like, and then James Harden too, he didn't do much. So like, I feel like Doc just really took the sword when it wasn't quite necessary for him to. So I think it goes to JP's point. NBA is just cutthroat. It's just ruthless.
Yeah, Rivers mentioned like ball. I thought it was weird that he mentioned ball movement was like a regret, at least in Game 6, of just like, we're not moving the ball enough. Even if Harden shakes a guy, there's still bigs in front of him. Like, he still has to deal with this. And I just found myself wondering, like, is this just the Harden effect that I think anytime Harden it's like, how do you move the ball with Harden? How do you move the ball with some of that stuff? And I don't know. It does feel like Rivers is kind of getting the short end of the stick when I feel like it was just collectively they weren't up to snuff. They just weren't playing on the same level the Celtics were. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's Doc's fault. Maybe it was just Doc. Just he liked that Celtics green and had flashes of Paul Pierce coming out of the tunnel. And just and back in the garden, just like, you know what, we just got to give it to him.
I'm doing it for my people. Yeah. Wild. Well, speaking of doing things for their people, NBA dumb boy Ja Morant. Like, I don't know what's going on with this cat, and the one time, okay, yeah, you learned your lesson. At least I hope you did. Obviously not, though. He shows the gun on his friend's Instagram live video, which then it goes to show you what type of friends you get if you're having to hang out with a handgun. And now there's the whole argument he's allowed to own a handgun as long as it was registered to him and that type of stuff. So did he technically break a law? So I mean, there's all types of things you can do. I just think with the spotlight on him, what's gone on this past season, and like the Pacers bus thing, and then punching a teenager in the face and showing a gun, like, he's got to be smarter than this. He has to be, whether it's his gun or not, whether he legally owns it or not. You got to be smarter than this. I think this is just your dumbass move of the week here. What's JP thoughts for you?
Dude, I think did you guys happen to see Kwame Brown's video?
And it's bad when Kwame Brown's coming after you.
Oh no.
I'm telling you, bro. But dude, Kwame Brown was like, he was spot on with all of the stuff.
Yeah.
And dude, it just doesn't make sense. And people on Twitter have been calling they've been calling Ja Morant Clarence from 8 Mile because he does come from a good family. He went to like a private school. Yeah. And it's just like, dude, what are you trying to prove, man? Like, I would love to see what the vets I know Memphis is a kind of a young team, but I wonder what like the vets in the room have said to him, what those conversations are like, and like where this is stemming from. Like, why do you want to live that life so bad when literally never in your life have you lived like in that way?
Exactly.
So I don't know, bro.
We need Coach Carter. Coach Carter's the only one that can save him right now.
Yeah, we do need Coach Carter.
I know, dude.
We need Ja to give our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful.
Mr. Cruz, Mr. Morant.
All-time great movie.
Yeah, but you're off my team.
Tim.
How many suicides do you think Coach Carter would have? Ja Morant.
At least 200 for each bullet that's in the clip.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Damn. Same Jack.
This just, I don't get it. Like, I think I texted the group and I was like, you can't make this up. Like, what's he doing? You have like, I know last season there was this big, not a push, but there were people saying like, oh yeah, Ja's going to be the new face of the NBA. Like he's a great person. He's doing all this. And I don't know. I don't think the NBA wants the face of their organization waving a gun around. And it's gun laws aside, like that's just not a good look for the NBA. That's like the NFL. If someone was waving a gun around the NFL, like let's say there's an Instagram live of like
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Patty Mahomes doing like a TikTok dance and like he's got a gun or something. It's like, whoa, what are you doing? I just don't get it. Because I mean he's got it made. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't know. I'm speechless kind of. I just don't get it.
Well, it's like, and I saw it's funny because JP, you mentioned that guy that was Jordan's agent. And I just remembered, I was like, oh, that movie Air, the Jordan movie. I think someone plays that dude that you mentioned. But there was I haven't seen the movie, but I just saw a scene kind of floating around. And it's basically just talking about how they're gonna love Jordan at the beginning, and then they're gonna do everything to like bring him down. And I feel like Ja Morant has just brought himself down, like before he's even made it to the top. He's just kind of self-damaged, and he just, I don't know. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's pressure. I don't like pressure to like to be like the next Michael Jordan or something like that. But it is fascinating that because he's bringing himself down, there is a chance for redemption. There's a chance for him to kind of work his way back, and people hopefully are forgiving and can move on and won't be trying to bring him down.
Dog.
But I don't know.
Dog, he was in a redemption arc. What do you mean? He can't like you can't redemption arc it. Like you're already in the redemption arc, and then you just wave the gun around. Like
you're right.
Sometimes you have to go rock bottom, come back up, and then go rock bottom again, and then it comes
Yeah,
back.
like a double tap. Just hit it twice. Pop,
Yeah, just
pop.
dun-
All right.
You're right.
Jeez.
It's like skipping a rock. You just need that little.
Oh man.
Oh gosh. All right, Tim, you love a good conspiracy theory, and this comes from your Detroit Pistons.
Ooh,
You guys got
all right, let's
shafted.
go.
You
Oh,
go from the worst record in the league, and it seems like the sure lock for number 1 pick. Now, the New England Patriots of the NBA, the Spurs, get the French guy. Of course they
Wow.
do, right? They have the biggest international market there is. They get the first pick. Pistons slide all the way down to 5, thanks to the curse of Isaiah Thomas, pretty much. Tim, I feel bad for you, man. How do you feel about this?
I'm kind of torn. I never thought about how you made. I mean, the Spurs are a very well-known international organization, right? You have Manu. Yeah, I mean, you have all
Tony
these
Parker.
classic players. Yeah, all these classic players. So I guess it makes sense. Now, I will say this is like the 3rd or 4th year in a row that the Pistons have been like this high in a draft, and so good luck, Spurs. We'll probably see you again next season. It'll probably be another scenario where somehow we get shafted, but I'm not too upset about it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the NBA draft anyway. The whole setup just doesn't do it for me. But
Yeah, who needs a draft, right?
yeah,
Overrated. JP, any thoughts on this? Are you buying the stock in the collusion?
Yeah, I'm always down to buy some stock in some collusion. I don't have much info. I don't really keep up with the Pistons too much, but I do try to keep up with Popovich because I'm one of the few people out there that I believe Popovich always needs the best player in order to be able to be successful.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Oh, that's absurd.
We could say, "Oh my gosh, all we want, but the Spurs are the Spurs.
Oh man.
Let's go.
Oh, man.
The Spurs suck. They haven't been good since Kawhi left. And all I know, and I know I'm gonna sound like a homer, but this is kind of an objective thing. If Eric that doesn't happen with somebody like Eric Spoelstra. He can win with a whole lot less talent than I think a lot of coaches in the NBA. I think Tom Thibodeau is another one of those guys too. But Popovich, we'll see what Wemby is like, but I don't know. I've never been sold.
That's a good point.
I love that take.
Yeah.
I think it's a terrible take. I think he got it done. Like when you think of the 2000 Spurs, I'm not talking about the Kawhi Spurs, okay? Because
tell me who was on the
2000 because I do think the Kawhi Spurs is similar to kind of like what D-Wade did with the Heat in 05. Is like you had these great players, maybe like Hall of Fame type players kind of at the end of their, in the twilight of their career. But you have this young, unproven star that was just kind of emerging. And I feel like that's what the Spurs did with Kawhi is they had, Duncan and all those guys at their, at the end of their time. But in the 2000s, I feel like Tony Parker wasn't getting the love that he got in the 2010s. I think Manu wasn't getting the love that he later got. I don't think Bruce Bowen was getting the love. I think it was like Tim Duncan, who was Mr. Fundamental. And I don't think he was as hyped up as people were. Oh, he's whatever. He's too slow and he's not this. I don't know. I mean, he was, but I do hear what you're saying because Duncan was that product. Is he was kind of that guy. But I'm just basing it off of like, I don't know if he was the guy. I feel like it was like they didn't have Kobe. They didn't have Allen Iverson. There were other players in the league that were like making a lot of noise. but the Spurs were the best team of that decade because of what they were doing together. Like I think they walked so that the Warriors could run. Is like their style of ball was basically what the Warriors do without 3-pointers. And I don't think anybody was doing that. That's where I credit Pop. I think you don't get that without Popovich. That's my take. And obviously, it's two great things coming together.
Okay.
It is that the Spurs, they had great players.
Tim
But
Duncan.
I think Popovich also enhanced those players, and it was just a perfect match. I mean, you can't say it's one without the other.
David Robinson was
David
also
Robinson
on the
was
team.
also there. Yeah. But
So we got four NBA Hall of Famers on one team.
yeah.
It was all Pop though. It was all Pop.
It wasn't all Pop, but he's
But
a
also-
key piece for that. Eric Spoelstra does not win 4 championships.
And I don't
with
mean
those
to-
guys.
Oh no, bro.
Here we go.
No way he just said that. Eric Spoelstra don't win with 4 Hall of Famers. Come on. We saw what he did with 3.
Yeah.
But I don't want to make it sound like I think Pop's like a horrible basketball coach. Obviously he's a good coach. But I will say, to one of your other points, I think the Suns walked before the Warriors ran. I think the
That's a good
Suns with
point.
Steve
Yeah.
Nash and Stoudemire and all them, they play
Yeah.
way more like run and gun.
Mm-hmm.
So I refuse to give Pop credit for the Warriors.
So
That's
in
fair.
JP's world, Popovich is the worst coach to ever grace the NBA, and he should be fired next. That's what we heard, right, boys? All right. I'm just kidding.
Well,
Why isn't he held to the same
That's true.
standard as
That's
Doc
true.
Rivers?
hey, Pop did coach Steve Kerr too. So when they do a doc on the Warriors, I'll be curious to see what Steve Kerr says about Pop's influence.
Did he coach Steve Kerr on the 2000 San Antonio Spurs
Did he?
team?
I think he did. Did he not? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he did too.
he
So
did.
dang,
Yeah.
another guy on the roster.
Damn.
Oh, man.
All right, we're gonna transition to a little hockey. I don't know how much hockey you watch, JP, but you're in the middle of Smashville. You're with the Predators down there. Hockey town, it kind of ups and down. It seems like Nashville. This past couple years has been a little rough for you guys, but before I feel like things were running, especially when Taylor was just chugging from a huge. I don't even know what type of fish that was, but that was awesome.
Yeah, catfish.
Catfish.
Dude, I mean, I don't really know. I don't know anything about hockey. I try to keep up with some headlines. I know that while Nashville was a hockey town, I was living in Dallas. I think maybe I was living in Dallas when Nashville was running it, and then I was in Tampa when the Lightning were good. But only thing I know now, I go to the same church as Roman Josi.
Ooh.
I think that's how you say his last name. And he is an extremely good guy. I really like him. And yeah, about Sidney Crosby.
All
all
there
those
you go.
guys.
Perfect. You sound just like us. That's pretty much how we are. Here's our pick'ems real quick. You know, me and Devin are tied at the top 7 and 5. Obviously, strong records there. And then Fitz and Tim. Or sorry. Tim is also at 7 and 5.
I
Three-way
clawed
tied.
back.
My
I clawed
apologies.
back. Yeah,
My
hold on.
apologies.
Yeah, it's all right. Hockey's not my sport.
Yeah, well, I
will
don't think
admit
it's
that.
any of the three of us usual here. But looking ahead of this series, Canes, Panthers, Knights, Stars. Look, we're all from the Carolinas here. I think we put our swords down from the NBA talk. I think we can all say, let's go Canes here.
It's the Canes to lose at this point.
Unfortunately,
JP!
I can't do that. I'm sorry. There's a stance that I take being from South Carolina that I do not have to be a fan of any North Carolina team just because it's another Carolina.
That's fair. I hate the Panthers, so I get it. I get it.
I hate the Panthers.
Hey, we found common ground. That's That's good.
Mm.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah.
Yeah. We're good.
All right. So you're taking the Panthers, JP, huh?
I got Panthers. Yep, and then I have my pick for the other side as well. But I'll let you tee it up because I might need some
All right.
stats.
Tim Fitz. I'm taking the Canes.
Yeah, I'm going Canes too. I did not want to come across the Panthers this postseason because they are like as red hot as you can get.
Yeah.
But I still got to pull for the Canes. The heart says Canes, so let's go.
And I thought about pulling a Tim and just going opposite, but I think that would be throwing at this point. I'm going to take the Canes. I do think the Canes will win.
Way to just lay down and show your belly there. I really appreciate you giving up the Betums.
Well, I think I could still come back. You know, I just have to zag on your next pick. Hopefully they're identical.
Ooh.
And then I zag, and then we'll make the finals worth like 3 points or something.
Yeah. We'll make it competitive. Wes, Tim, you're a big hockey guy usually. Who do you got here? Knights or Stars?
Okay. My heart's saying Knights, but I'm going Stars. I actually was able to watch Game 7 between Stars and Kraken.
Yeah.
And Stars are just they're very aggressive on their defense is interesting. So like if you contrast East and West, like the Canes, for example, they're a very good defensive team, but they have spurts where they can push up the ice. Dallas is like all systems go. As soon as you touch the puck, all 5 players are just gone. And that's scary, but I think they're actually going to I think it's going to go to Game 7, but I'm going to take the Stars here.
I like it. Dude, shout out the Crack House. I really thought they had him in them, and I was really all in on Seattle for a second. Fitz, or do you want me to go?
Hey, what do I have to pick?
Okay, I'll go.
You go.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like golf. I'm hitting from the back right now.
You're just whooping my ass in the NBA, but it's fine. Whatever. I'm just kidding. I've got. I'm gonna go with Stars too, Tim. I think you're right. The Knights haven't impressed me. They've played down to a level of competition. I think a lot of it, where Dallas is like, things are clicking. There's a lot of momentum. They're scoring a lot. They're playing aggressive defense. They're flying everywhere. Their line changes are crisp and clean. Give me the Stars. I think they punched their ticket to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Give me the Knights. All in. I'm all in on the Knights now. I'm not gonna lie. I thought like if you just had those 4 teams lined up, I'm probably like, Kane Stars. That seems like the Stanley Cup final, but no, not anymore. All in on the Knights.
JP, I don't know if you can see this, but this is the Pick'ems trophy. It's been sitting on my shelf for quite a while. So
who should have it
Collected on a
before
lot
NFL?
fast.
Who should that someone forgot to mail to me?
no, see, I'm about to win the NBA and hockey, so then it's going to stay up here for another year.
Oh my gosh.
So I'll pour some champagne in it when the Stanley Cup Finals are over.
JP, don't buy your friends trophies because they won't mail them back to you.
Dude, I respect that.
Thank you, JP. Man, I knew this was going to be a good podcast. Hey, I appreciate you.
Hey, if they want it, they can come
That's
to
right. You can take it from Barry's cold, dead hands. All right.
It's the principle.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
All right, JP, who you taking the West here?
Oh, based off of prior to hearing Tim's explanation, I was gonna say Vegas, but now I'm riding all in with Dallas, and I will claim them as my team because I lived there for 6 months and I've been to a Dallas Stars game. So,
Oh, nice.
Dallas Stars winning the Stanley Cup final.
You grew up in the Carolinas. You
Ooh.
refuse to take them. I hear it. 6 months. That's good enough for you. Okay.
South Carolina.
I said the
South
Carolinas.
Carolina.
I didn't say North Carolina.
But that's
right.
what we need to change. No more of that.
We got to just put the line
that's
in
the
sand.
point.
That's it. Last topic, and then we'll do a random question and our bets, and we'll get out of here real quick. JP, I don't know how big of a video game guy you are, but NCAA 14 was like the epitome god tier of video games, especially on the later consoles. I can't imagine a pregame in college without some NCAA on the screen, Tim. Like, I think that's what we did every Thursday, Friday night. You pregame, you play a little NCAA mascot mashup. You do little somersaults with Otis from Syracuse.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Then you wake up hungover on Saturday morning, and Fitz is doing his My Career mode.
That's right.
In your
Yeah.
apartment.
Many times I walk out of my room and there's
with
Fitz on the couch.
my guy YOLO Swagtron, wide
From
receiver,
ODU.
Old Dominion.
Looking like Larry Fitzgerald. It was awesome. It's coming back 2024, and they just announced that with On One, they're going to allow likeness of players. So now instead of number 8 from Texas, it's going to say Archie Manning from Texas. As long as they agree to it and they feel into it, they're going to be compensated for this, which is awesome. I think it's a step in the right direction. Obviously, you gotta get these kids some money. I'm a big fan of the NIL deal. I think this only betters the brand, and I hope every college athlete gets in on this. But I think it's awesome for NCAA, and now we don't have to depend on someone who doesn't have a job to make a roster and then download it. Hopefully it's already in there for you and makes life easy. JP, how do you feel about this?
Dude, it's epic because, I mean, thank God the game is coming back. Like you said, it's just how many great bonding moments did you have with your friends / arguments with your friends or fights with your brothers or all that stuff, dude. And like, there's nothing better than the career mode, like with McSwagatron or whatever his name was.
YOLO Swagtron.
Yeah, YOLO Swagtron just brought me back immediately. And dude, I haven't had a game system with me like since 2018, but I seriously would consider getting one again to play NCAA. And it's dope that they are paying the players for it. I think it would have been funny if in the beginning they were like, oh yeah, like you guys can be in it if it's cool with you. Like you just have to sign this sheet of paper. There's no compensation, because I think every single player probably would sign the paper, because who doesn't want to be in a game?
Yeah.
But it's dope. I mean, they deserve to get paid for that kind of stuff. And I can't wait for it to come back. I'll probably get a game system again.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point, because like, who doesn't like get mad and there's the career mode, and you obviously name it after yourself. You look at yourself, and then you make the funny ones afterwards. But it's like, yeah, like I want to be in that game.
Only funny ones for me.
Tim, Fitz, thoughts for you guys?
Yeah, this is great. I mean, this is exactly why they stopped in the first place, was because there was issues over the likeness of players, and the fact that we've had this like wild west of NIL and these collegiate athletes able to make some money off their name. I mean, yeah, this is kind of the next logical step. Instead of EA just, making money off these student athletes, they get a cut of it, which I'm all about. And it's still not going to change my, Parker, you kicking my ass in this game. I was terrible. Like, you can only be beaten like 50-0 so many times before you just give up. So I'm going to have to like do some cheat codes or something on you, but I'll be ready this time around. I got your number.
I'm telling you, the triple option was undefeated.
Oh.
And they had the RPO in later years. Oh, anyways.
Yeah, just a great game. I always thought the gameplay for these was actually better than Madden. It was just a lot of fun, even though I prefer NFL over college. I thought the gameplay was a lot more fun. I want them to go all in on the student athlete situations again. Remember when it was like, player 1 didn't go to class, what do you do? And like you could bench him for a quarter or just play him, but then there was always like consequences for playing.
You just play him.
I think I just want the players to have fun with it. Like where it's like Arch Manning was out partying last night. Like, what do you do? It's like just go all in with the player likeness. That would be I don't know if they'll do it, but that would be my desire. Just like make it fun, make it realistic, make it silly too.
I love it. All right, JP, we got 2 more segments here. One's about betting. I know Bet the Bus, it grew in popularity last year. Hopefully you got some good betting tips for us this weekend. If not, we're just going to say, hey, off the top of the dome, who are we putting some money on? And don't worry, it's huge money around here. It's only $5, so relax.
I stopped putting money in.
Yeah, we've been on a cold streak, so JP, we're hoping you're going to bring some good vibes to us. That's what.
Except for those finals picks.
Final picks.
I put a beer put a beer on Nuggets and Heat at the beginning of the season. So
Yeah.
we're still waiting to see what happens. I was talking last week. If that ends up being the finals, you gotta put in money on the underdog at that point, because I'd be getting money either way. So.
Exactly. All right, so we can do any day, JP, you want. We'll fit your schedule here, brother. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you give us the team, you give us the sport. We're throwing money down on it. We're gonna put it on the pub parlay.
Oh gosh, I need to see what's going on Friday.
This is always the way the best parlays come out. So anytime we do our homework, like we've done our research, 98% of the time they're gonna win.
Never
It never
hits.
plans. So
It's like a dud run.
we just
It's always
stopped
on a
trying.
win.
Yeah. Let me see what
All
I can
about-
find.
It's all about gut.
And while JP's looking, Tim,
Y'all got anything off the top of your head?
Oh.
Yeah, I got one.
all right,
You
go
guys
for it.
already know. Does it matter what day? Do we have a preference on
Well,
what
you
day?
picked.
You pick the day.
Doesn't matter.
Well, the XFL's over with, so like it matters now. Before I could just pick any XFL game and the bets were already out.
And by the way, you were the hottest on your XFL picks until it mattered.
I know.
Championship.
Yeah. Who would have thought the Renegades would beat the
Yeah.
Defenders? Oh my
Last to
god.
first, baby.
What happened? The Defenders just crapped the bed. Wow. Okay. I'm flexible here, but JP mentioned Friday, so I'm gonna do Friday. I'm gonna go my Houston Astros over the Oakland A's.
The Astros are back.
Give me the Astros, baby. Let's go. Banging on trash cans, reading signals. The AI chat bots are coming next. Give me the Astros.
I love it.
All right. I think I got one. We'll do. I'm gonna put y'all on some tennis games,
Let's go.
and we'll do on Saturday. It'll be Casper Ruud versus Holger Rune, and Casper Ruud will secure the dub.
Casper
Yo.
Ruud. Is it spelled R-U-D-E?
Ruud.
R-U-U-D.
Let's go.
This is our first tennis bet. And so, JP, if this hits, expect something from your Venmo. All right. This is huge. This is big.
Holger just beat Djokovic, so he's about to have a fall off match.
I love it. I love a come up. I love a better fall off. Let's go.
Yes.
Fitz.
Trying to figure out who's pitching Friday, but I think I'm just gonna go with it. So, flying to Minnesota for a follow up interview, and I'm thinking I'm gonna bring good luck for the Twins. So we'll
Ooh.
take the Twins on Friday over the Angels.
Wow.
Let's go. Okay.
I don't know if Otani's
Good luck
pitching. That's the
in your
only problem.
interview.
I was like,
Yeah.
thank you. I thought Otani might be pitching. I'm like, that might screw us, but we'll take a chance. We'll take a chance.
Wow.
Take a chance.
Bold move.
It's going to bring you good luck. Good luck in the interview, like JP said. Good vibes on that pick. I'm here for it. All right, I'm going to take it. Playoff. We hate it. I love playoff picks. Give me Canes. Canes to win Saturday against Florida Panthers.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Love it.
Easy.
Easy money here. Easy money.
We're about to buy a mansion. Jimmy Butler, watch out. All right. Now we have a random question, JP, and then the show's done, and we can't thank you enough for your time here. If you have a random
been
question,
awesome.
feel free. You can shout it out here, or you can depend on one of us to give you a random question. And it could be anything.
Anything.
Yeah, I'll depend
Okay,
on one of
that's
you
fair.
guys right now.
That's fair. Boys, you got one? If not, I
Mhm.
can think of one real quick.
Ooh.
This is more random than our betting picks, by the way. This is like our bets are kind of spur of the moment, but maybe a little bit predetermined. We never think of a random question. It's very spur of the moment.
Here you go.
Okay,
I got
okay.
I got something. This has to do with the English language, kind
I
of.
like it. And literature
So, how do you?
or just language.
Yeah. How do you say CY
Cycle.
Okay. Now, how do you say bicycle?
Bicycle.
Why?
You know? It's not bicycle. Bicycle.
It's not.
Bicycle.
I'm going to start saying bicycle.
Bicycle. Dude, English is tough, man. I don't know.
Bicycle.
Can we start a movement of that? Bicycle?
Bicycle picks.
Bicycle. Yeah, because what do you say when you
Get it
say
trending.
put an RE in front of cycle?
Recycle.
How do you say that word? Recycle.
Yeah, recycle.
Man.
What about a TRI?
Jesus.
Tricycle.
Tricycle.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tricycle.
That's weird. That's a very weird one.
That was a weird one. That was more of a yeah. Go ahead.
No. It was just BS.
That's not really
Yeah.
like, I guess, a random.
That's just like a
It was
random
a
thought.
random
I like the
thought.
random thought though. It's
I don't even
good.
know. Yeah.
I'll tell you one. All right, if you could get rid of any major sport, all its history, all its famous athletes are gone with, done, dead. Put them through a table.
Oh,
Mm.
geez.
What major sport are we getting rid of?
Oh, that's
That's tough.
terrible.
Hmm. What
Like, just
what are the major sports?
So we'll say the four main professional ones. So like NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, and we'll get we'll say soccer. We'll throw soccer in there because obviously it's the biggest sport.
So
in
I
the world.
can't say bowling.
No, bowling doesn't count. We'll allow tennis.
Oh,
Tennis is pretty
it'd be
popular.
so sad to get rid of forever the who you are, I am, or whatever. Who do you think you are? I am. It'd be so sad to get rid of that. But
Yeah.
I'm going to start us off.
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
going to do it. Sorry, guys. MLB, you're out. It's too quick, it's too slow.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
you throw a stick at
Oh.
a ball. I mean, watch cricket. Cricket would take that place easily. All right, sorry, MLB.
Oh man.
Wait.
Oh man.
You're right. I'm with you. It's a boring game to watch. I can't do it. It's fun to play, sure, but yeah, Tim, I'm with
Yeah.
you. I'll drink that
It's
tea with you.
America's pastime.
Nah, who cares?
I can't get on.
Yeah, I would third that. I think baseball can go. It doesn't really serve much of a purpose other than something to do on the weekend every
go.
now and then.
We need to get this trending.
That's the
I mean,
baseball.
I just got MLB. I got MLB the
Baseball.
show was my graduation gift from me to me, and I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
So I resent that answer.
Well, then what would you pick, Evan? You better not say
I'm
hockey.
trying to think, man. I love sports. No, I don't want to get rid of hockey.
Thank you.
Because I might move to Minnesota, and that's all they've got there. So,
The boy Tevin says soccer. So he's
Soccer,
getting
man.
Tevin Jones. That's a hot take.
yeah.
That's
Wow.
the most
That's a lot of
international
history.
sport. Of, yeah. Wow.
Tevin would say soccer.
It's the
Yeah,
most
it's
popular
like-
sport in
it's
the
like
world.
burning a library. That would be like a lot of history just
Mm.
gone.
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh.
Canceling soccer is like burning a library.
There's
I
there's
like
the
that.
title of the episode.
Purge it with fire. All right, Evan, what you got? You got
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
well. That was
I feel
well
like I'm
said,
missing a
Tim.
major sport. I'm just missing one. I'm thinking of like an Olympic sport that I want to just axe.
Just
What
running.
about-
Just get rid of running altogether.
No,
Oh,
no.
what about
I was a cross country runner. Can't do that. Mm,
You got this, buddy.
Any day.
I hate to say this, but because JB talked about it, but I'm gonna say swimming.
Michael
Wow.
Phelps is
So you
Wow,
don't want to see
dude.
the Michael Phelps
Yeah,
moment.
no Michael Phelps, no Mark Spitz. It's just done.
Wow.
Yeah,
oh,
all the swimming.
brutal.
Yeah, that's
Brutal.
a savage moment right there.
Swimming's recreation only. There's no competitive swimming.
One of the most decorated athletes of all time. And you just
Oh,
poofed him. You just Thanos snapped him. Just Done.
Oh, hey, great episode, boys. And JP, we can't thank you enough, dude. We wish you the best of luck in the future. And anytime you want to come back on, you're more than welcome to. And hopefully we can chop it up in the future. But anything you want to shout out, Instagram lives popping off on Tuesday nights. Don't know if you want to give those an extra plug.
Yes, we would definitely like to shout out Push Up Tuesdays on my Instagram live page at jhubby34. Taylor Lewan is my co-host, and we are prepping for hopefully our biggest week
Let's go.
ever next week if we can land the great Kay Adams, which I think we're gaining traction. Check out the Instagram live.
I love it, dude. We can't thank you enough for hopping on. Beautiful
Thanks,
people
man.
out there in the world. Have a great week, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Bye.
Our deepest fear is not
sir.
that we
Thank
are
you.
inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure.
For
That's
once, you have a
Charles
movie
Barkley?
quote. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Already.
We would be the bad boys of Little League. I'm telling you now. We would beat the tar out of the other team.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Joey Chestnut has to be on the pub.
Has to be.
Pub
And we haven't had Jay Gray on in a minute.
Has to be.
Matt's dead.
How's the journey?
Man, I'm gonna get
Matt's
real
dead.
live.
Matt died. Devin's
I
dying.
think we're all a little soft and misunderstood. Just be real honest.
Get Luke Combs. I was begging for Luke Combs not too long ago. We'll get Luke Combs on here. I challenge Luke. I think I can actually beat him in shotgunning a beer. So if he thinks he's got the cojones.
That's the intro. You just hit my promo for me, James. I love it.